I don't think that the daughter was really coherent for all that. I think that she was sitting there and was like, my mom did what? Like, I think it took her a little bit, because you even see after the interview when she's been in jail that she's like, I love my mom, blah, blah, blah. And look, people all the time are like, how could you love your mom after that? You don't understand or know what you would do in a situation unless you've been in that situation and it's your situation in general. I think that it was a trauma response for her to go inward and kind of disassociate at that time, because that's got to be really hard to have your dynamic with your mom one way and then understand that she told you to off yourself, dude. She was bringing up sexual conversations and she was 14. Like, the things that she said, I would be appalled if a grown woman even said that to me now. It's extremely difficult for a child to navigate those feelings, and whether or not someday she does talk to her or doesn't talk to her is none of our business, and we shouldn't judge, because each person has their own feelings and deals with something differently. I myself, it's just like BWS, Battered Woman Syndrome, that I've talked about. I've been in relationships where men have done horrible things. Literally, my last relationship, I was raped, and I stayed with the dude. People could look at me and be like, you're ignorant. Totally understand. I really was ignorant. However, you don't understand how psychologically deep something can get to where your body just can't handle it. You're mentally like, I just physically cannot think of my mother doing that. She has the proof. She knows she did. It's just gotta be really, really hard to digest something like that. There's also something called fawning, which I didn't really know about until I started going through abusive chapters in my life with a lot of exes. I know, guys, I know. But there's something called fight or flight. Obviously, you guys should probably know that one. And then fawning. There's a couple others too, but I want to specifically talk about the fawning because I've been a victim to it. And it seems like this girl has also been a victim to it, because you kind of disassociate. It's kind of like your body just being like, oh, I can't handle this inward. You know what I mean? And so the way that she was presenting herself when the police were telling her, it looked as though she was just fawning, like she's just disassociating in the moment. And she might remember some things, and just because you disassociate doesn't mean that you don't remember everything. It could mean that you don't remember most of it or whatever. But I think that she definitely did have a fawning response. And honestly, I just feel bad for her. And for the people that are like, I would hate your mom. I totally get it, because I can't imagine doing that to my kid. Like, I would never want to talk to that mom again if I were the husband, the kid, whatever. But that's my own personal experiences. And like I've said before, I've also fell victim to that, where literally I stayed with my boyfriend. And I'm going to tell you this. If she does have MPD and she has the course of control behaviors and the emotional abusive behaviors, she's been doing a lot more things in the house rather than this 2 years. The daughter has to unlearn everything about her mom. It took 14 years for her to get to that point. It's probably going to take 14 years plus, if ever, that she's going to be able to really come to terms with what her mom did and seeing how that's not okay. That's not right. And she understands, like, yeah, she kind of screwed up, essentially. I don't know, man. I'm not going to judge her, because why would I do that? Everyone goes through their own things. I'm not going to judge her on her healing journey with that. But yeah, definitely a trauma response from what I'm seeing. I would be extremely shocked if she didn't have long-term issues from this, because the statistics say too, when people are in their childhood, and I know that she's 14, but just walk with me. When people are in their childhood and they experience something like that, it is long-term results. Long-term. And for the mom to have narcissistic personality disorder too, I know that we go over people having mental illness as a environmental issue or a genetic issue. I would be really curious to look at her parents. I would high key, if they made another episode or anything like that, I would want to talk to her parents. I would want to see how they are. I'm feeling for that girl. I feel bad for her because she's going to have to watch all of us saying something too, but like, how can you not? I mean, that is wild. Best of luck to her.